In 2025, Aja Wilson averaged 23.4 points, 10.2 rebounds, 2.3 blocks, and 1.6 steals per game. She won the scoring title, the MVP award, the Defensive Player of the Year award, and the Finals MVP, all in the same season. No player in WNBA history had ever done that. No player in NBA history had ever done that either. For that season, she earned a maximum salary of approximately $250,000. That number isn't a typo. It's the economics of women's professional basketball as they existed until very recently. And it's the context you need to understand what happened in April 2026, when Aja Wilson signed a 3-year, $5 million supermax contract with the Las Vegas Aces, the largest deal in the history of the WNBA. The story of Aja Wilson isn't just a story about basketball dominance. It is a story about what happens when the greatest player in a professional sport spends years being paid as though she barely belongs in it, and what it takes to finally change that. Like and subscribe if you're new here. This story is about to get very specific and very relevant. Hit the bell. Aja Wilson grew up in Columbia, South Carolina. She played at the University of South Carolina, where she won a national championship and became one of the most decorated players in college basketball history. The Las Vegas Aces selected her with the first overall pick in the 2018 WNBA draft. She was 21 years old, she was 6 feet tall, and she was already a problem for every defense she faced. Her first MVP came in 2020, the bubble season, played in a biosecure facility in Bradenton, Florida, with no fans in the stands and no media access. Wilson averaged 20.5 points and 8.5 rebounds and led her team to the finals. She won the award unanimously. She earned $185,000. The second MVP came in 2022, the year the Aces won their first WNBA championship. Wilson put up 19.5 points and 9.4 rebounds per game, shot 53% from the field, and was named Finals MVP. She was the best player on the best team in the league. Her salary was in the neighborhood of $200,000. In 2023, the Aces repeated as champions. Wilson won Finals MVP again and was named to the All-WNBA first team. She didn't win League MVP that year. Breanna Stewart of the New York Liberty took the award, but there was no credible argument that any other player in the league was as complete or as dominant. The third MVP came in 2024, the fourth in 2025. 4 total, more than any player in the history of the league, male or female. The 2025 season was the one that defied statistical logic: scoring title, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and Finals MVP, all in the same season. No player in either of the 2 major American professional basketball leagues had ever swept those honors simultaneously. Wilson did it while earning a salary that, in the context of professional sports, was effectively a rounding error. The reason for that discrepancy is structural, not personal. The WNBA's salary scale has been governed by collective bargaining agreements that historically set the maximum at levels that seem reasonable only if you accept the premise that women's basketball is worth roughly 1% of men's basketball. The 2020 CBA, celebrated at the time as a historic deal, raised the maximum salary to $215,000 and the average to just under $130,000. In the NBA, the minimum salary in 2025 exceeded $1 million. Wilson never hid her feelings about the economics of the league she played in. She spoke about it in interviews, in social media posts, and in the language of players who work overseas in the off-season, not because they want to, but because they have to supplement an income that doesn't reflect their market value. Like many WNBA stars, Wilson played in international leagues during the WNBA off-season for years. The overseas leagues paid significantly more than the domestic ones. What changed was leverage. The WNBA's 2026 television rights negotiation produced something the league had never had before: a broadcast deal with real money attached to it. The league's partnership with NBC and Peacock, returning to NBC for the first time in decades, brought in a level of rights fees that finally made the old salary structure untenable. The players' union negotiated accordingly. The new CBA, ratified in early 2026, restructured the entire economic model. The salary cap jumped from $1.5 million to $7 million. The average salary went from $120,000 to $583,000. The minimum salary surpassed $300,000. And at the top of the scale, a new supermax tier was created for players of generational impact. A'ja Wilson qualified. The 3-year, $5 million contract she signed in April 2026 was the first deal signed under the new supermax structure. It's fully guaranteed. It's the largest contract in WNBA history. And it arrived 8 years after she was drafted first overall, after 4 MVP awards and 3 championships, after seasons in which she was objectively the best player on the planet in her sport. The question you can reasonably ask is, why did it take this long? The cynical answer is that women's sports in the United States have historically been valued at whatever the market determined, and the market, for most of the WNBA's existence, reflected a set of assumptions about audience size, media interest, and commercial viability that kept salaries low. The honest answer is that those assumptions were wrong, and the league's recent growth in viewership, attendance, and sponsorship revenue has exposed just how wrong they were. In 2024, WNBA attendance hit record highs. Television ratings for regular season games reached levels not seen since the late 1990s. The Indiana Fever, with Caitlin Clark, sold out every home game. The Las Vegas Aces, with Wilson, won the championship in front of packed arenas and national television audiences. The product was undeniably good. The compensation had just not caught up yet. Now it has, at least at the top. What A'ja Wilson represents is not just athletic greatness. She represents the argument that women's basketball makes about itself every time the television is turned on. That the game is worth watching, worth paying for, and worth paying the people who play it at the level the sport demands. 4 MVP awards, 3 championships, 1 $5 million contract, and a league that finally, after 30 years, began paying its players what the market actually says they're worth. Whether the players at the bottom of the salary scale feel the same way is a different conversation. But at the top of the mountain, the view just changed. Subscribe. The next story on your screen is connected to this one in ways you won't expect.